ちょっと
We are back once again for episode 2 of Dandadan. Okay, enough of that. That's weird, right? Yeah, it's weird. We're back again, episode number 2 of Dandadan, and yeah, this is more of what we got in episode number 1. I think there was one element that I have to just be straight up with that I felt was kind of missing this episode, at least for me personally. I did feel like in episode 1, like it set the bar pretty high. So I'll start based off of that, right? Like my bar was like here, okay? So my expectation was like here. It was like, 50-50 if I don't like it. I got blown away to like up here. Like action, plot, story, characters, comedy, super funny, hilarious, laughter, just crazy, give me your pee-pee, give me your weenie. Like just some really fun stuff, okay? And in continuation of that, in episode 2, I will tell you that the one element that was missing was the funnies and was the laughter and was the comedy. Now, I'm not saying that it was impossible to find a funny moment here, but I didn't laugh, okay? So I did enjoy the episode, but I didn't laugh. And that's one big element that I thought was really missing here is it was a continuation of like the fight scenes and the bombasticness and the really awesome animation and the fun dynamic between Ken and between Ayase. And he called her ugly, and then they fight, and it's like two lovers fighting, right? So it was fun, but it wasn't funny. And I really hope that it's hard to say, right? Because we're only 2 episodes in, but I really hope that the element of the funnies don't stop, and it wasn't like a 1 episode type deal. And I imagine that it won't be, right? Because we keep seeing, or at least I keep seeing, glimpses of the grandma, and it looks like what she brings to the table. And it looks like that element of funny and kind of what I'm really searching for within the show is like, I think that she'll bring that. And then obviously Ayase and Ken themselves continue to be funny characters. And like I said, there was moments that one would perceive or could have laughed or found comedic. And I don't want to ignore those feelings. It's just, they just weren't mine. And I didn't have the give me your weenie moment in this episode personally. Even when Ayase was like, yo, let me see down there, like, let me check it. You know what I mean? Like even that, like, again, there's comedic elements, but it wasn't funny. Like I didn't laugh. I may have smiled, you know what I mean? Maybe like, I may have smiled, but I didn't like laugh. Okay. So I just want to throw that out there that it's a big element that I hope that continues to be one of the pillars of this show and not like a one-off, or happens sometimes kind of thing. The rest of the episode, though, is very much, she dragged Ken home. They weren't able to go and take down Turbo Granny. Reason being, it became daytime, and, the occult, the ghost and stuff only come out during the night. Totally makes sense. Now, she took down... And this is kind of where I don't really understand is, or it's not that I don't understand, it's just, is what it is. But she took down a talisman because our boy Ken couldn't pass through. Like, boy was burning up like a whore in church, okay? Like, bro, he was like it was bad. So he burned up, so she took down a talisman so he can pass through and get into her house and stuff. But that led into some knocking, which led into, I guess, some kind of deal being broken. And what ended up happening is we had a Sumo come in, and he wanted da banana. He wanted give me the banana. And again, like I said, I guess you could find that comedic. I just didn't laugh at it. But the give me the banana part, it's a funny element. It just, I didn't find it funny. I want to make that sure that's clear that there's things I recognize that are funny. They're just, I didn't laugh. But, the Sumo thing shows up, and Gwen Stacy, Ken quickly discerned it as it being not a ghost, but an alien, which makes sense why it could come out in the day. But I don't quite understand, and I guess they kind of explained it, so I'll connect the dots in a second, but let me just say my stupidness. I don't quite understand why the talisman has such an effect, and had an effect on the alien. But what they did say at some point in the episode was that, Ken had talked about, like in certain studies that people who are very spiritually endowed are the ones who tend to see aliens the most. So obviously there's some kind of connection between aliens and between ghosts, the paranormal and the otherworldly. There's like a connection there that can be deemed. So because of that connection, one could deem that you're keeping out, grandma's keeping out aliens or keeping out ghosts and paranormal, and she's also keeping out aliens because they have some overlap in however they come to being. So, at the end of the episode, she puts the towel. Ayase puts the talisman back. She has expended herself. She got the shit kicked out of her this episode. But then the episode ends with a cliffhanger with Ken turning full Turbo Granny because he has zero stoppage from Ayase and then just looming over Ayase. And you can only assume and predict that Grandma will show up and come and save the day and everything else. We just hope that Ayase is alive because she got the shit kicked out of her. So much so, it's how you even standing alive, moving, thinking, anything. She got just mollywopped by that sumo dude. But she ended up putting the talisman. They wiped it out. The in-between stuff before that was them just kind of sharing and Ken talking about always wanting a friend, and they both said sorry, and then they both fought because he was like, you're ugly, it's all that. So very fun stuff in between. Again, fun, not funny. I want to keep reiterating that because, like I said, I understand that some may find it or did find it funny. I just didn't. But yeah, I would say that was episode number 2. Another great episode. Definitely, like I said, started here. Ended up here with the episode this is a 9, 10 out of 10 stuff, and then it brought me back down to earth. So now I'm in that middle realm of okay, I think this is about what we can expect on a go forward basis, but it may have moments that kind of tick back up, but it won't get me all the way back up to that blown away expectations. It's just here's where I was, or here's where I was before, here's where I was after, now I'm back here, and I think this is probably where this will come and stay, if that makes sense. I just hope that comedic and that comedy, legitimate, just funny, ask me about my weed. I hope that will come back. So, yeah. Dandadan episode 2. Fantastic. Can't wait to see more. All right, my friends. See you guys next week.